Yo, this edit's gonna be so fire, man. Stop. Let me show you how to edit the colors in your image properly. Make sure to save this video and follow me for more photography tips. First things you would usually look at: temperature, which allows you to make your images warmer, which is just more orange, or cooler, which is just more blue. And tint, that's the exact same thing, only it's between green and purple. Usually I would make my images just slightly warmer. I think it adds a nice nostalgic vibe to it. And since my image here has a lot of greenery, we're gonna add the tint just very slightly towards the green, just to make the leaves pop out slightly more. Now, saturation. This adjusts the intensity of all the colors in your image, but please be careful with this. What beginners would usually do, and I was very guilty of this myself, is we would max out the saturation for the sake of making the image more colorful. But now that I look at it, it becomes more deep fried than KFC. Look at how much more intense the colors become. Don't do that. If I need to add a little bit more color to my images, I would usually use vibrance, which only adjusts the saturation in the relatively less saturated colors. So if I were to max out the vibrance, notice how the orange on the Torii Gate gets mostly left alone, but the flowers become a lot more pink. Let's just increase that slightly. There we go. Now onto my favorite part, color grading. Color grading allows you to stylize your images by adjusting the tint in the highlights, which are the bright parts of your image, the shadows, which are the dark parts of your image, and the midtones, which is everything in between. A very common combination is called the teal and orange look. So I just push the shadows slightly towards teal and the highlights slightly towards the orange. Usually this is associated with what's called the cinematic look, and I personally use it. It gives off a vintage vibe to my images, and I personally like that. There isn't really a single best group of settings when it comes to editing the colors. It all comes down to personal preference. Just have fun and do what you like. The point here is just to make sure to be very careful with each of the sliders. Don't just say, oh, this looks good, let's just max out this, bam. Don't do that. You don't want to deep fry your images.